was a point in time when Nvidia was a beloved and respected company until the 7 deadly sins of greed, and greed struck.
You missed the 7th one.
From making powerful graphics cards that didn't cost the same price as a used car to making cards that catch on fire if you don't plug it in right.
How did he even get to this point?
I don't know, Mr. Cigar. I don't know. What's that? Oh my god. Our beloved leader and savior, Jensen Huang! And his sexy leather jacket to boot.
Hey, fella, who's gonna buy the new Nvidia card? And when do you guys want it? Man, these guys are fucking morons. And how many gigabytes of VRAM do you guys want? Hey, the
Best I can do is 16. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Mr. Cigar?
Way ahead of you.
Nvidia was a company built on the foundation of being for all people wanting a computer. If you wanted your very own gaming rig to boot up Half-Life, they were the guys to look to. And I mean, who could ignore this catchy ass phrase? Hits every time. Founded in 1993 by Jensen Huang, Nvidia is a software company which designs and supplies graphics processing units, aka GPUs. Remember this one because I'm going to be saying that buzzword a lot. Nvidia is also a leading supplier of AI hardware and software. This dude used to be a Denny's worker, which really shows anything is possible. They're mostly known for their graphics cards, you know, the part of the machine that makes the actual visual of the game possible. Without it, you'll end up with indistinguishable graphics that look like Q*berts, and you don't want this. It's the backbone of gaming. Without it, you either can't run the game, or unless you have integrated graphics from a CPU, then you'll have a game that runs very, very slow. What I'm getting at is it's very, very important, and this company is very, very important, and this man with the leather coat is also very, very important, and everything is very, very important. And even the world is very, very important. Come back down to me real quick. That's better. Gaming without this company's amazing products wouldn't have been possible. I mean, you could have used AMD back then, but you don't want to be a loser, right? AMD GPUs crash more than blonde white women, which is a lot, by the way, if I had to specify even more. So the only real option was Nvidia. I'm going to be talking about this company a lot, so just remember, AMD is like Obi-Wan to Darth Vader. They're the same company, except one's cooler. Every new iteration of their GPUs feel like a genuine leap for technology. Even looking back at their 1080 Ti now, it's still viable for modern games. Performance that matched price was a common thing back in the day. Shocking, I know. But these GPUs felt so powerful, it felt futuristic, you know what I'm saying? Even the 2080 Ti felt next level. For the price at the time, this was an actual scam, but that's not the point. Nvidia were the goats of gaming, a company that respected the consumer's intelligence and understood that they were heavily respected as well amongst all gamers. How do you make more money? Raise the prices, of course. Now, how high should we raise them? Asked the Nvidia employees, and Jensen Huang takes a quick swig of his coffee. Yeah. The joke is that the prices are way too fucking high. As more generations came out, the price of course is going to go up, as most things do. Combine it with inflation, I would understand an increase of price every year. You know, graphics cards ain't cheap, but clearly, us the consumer are fucking stupid because we forgot these MSRP price tags mean nothing, and we need to start ignoring them. The price tag and the quality do not match, and they never will. My first memory of this happening was with the 2080 Ti, an MSRP of $1,000, and labeled as the first GPU to be able to output 4K graphics. I remember people uploading videos of having double 2080 Ti's just to squeeze out enough performance to get Earthworm Jim at a solid frame rate, a task that still hasn't been completed yet. Now, $1,000 was never the actual price when these initially released. They were more like $1,400, and now listen, that sounds bad, which it kinda is, but this was probably the last time the price being higher than MSRP was actually reasonable, because they get so much worse. Enter the 30 series, introduced in 2020, the second biggest technological leap in Nvidia's GPU department, with it having a 50% power increase from the 20 series. Absolutely fantastic cards. If sex were possible, they would all be sticky. And then Big Man walks in. With the biggest performance jump with a whopping 90% boost in performance is the 40 series card. Absolute beast. I wish I could have been in this group, but sadly, I'm a dirty, disgusting AMD peasant. Being unemployed could only get you so much money. Now, with all these performance boosts from Papa Jensen, you're probably expecting something massive for the 50 series cards. Well, you would be absolutely 30%. It's a 30% power increase.
Talk about the DLSS 4, fucker. Don't lie. Look at this performance.
I will. But first, welcome to Guess That GPU Price. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first ever Hammerfell Game Show coming to you live. To our first contestant, welcome to the show. How does it feel?
Oh my god, baby. It's so good to be here. I'm so glad I got the chance.
Glad to have you on. With an MSRP of $1,500, how much was the 3090 when it initially released?
Oh my god, it's gotta be at least like $1,200 around there, like something like that.
Ooh, so close. The answer would be $3,300, you fucking stupid motherfucker. Does it get worse from here? Let's divide this price issue into 3 different categories: scalper, supply issues, and price gouging. Let's go into scalping first, because my god, these guys fucking suck. And they were especially bad when the 30 series first released. To define scalping in Black Man Ebonics terms, straight from Hammerfell, it was when a dumb bimbo bitch uses bots and a lot of money to buy most, if not all, the stock instantly, meaning real people don't get jack skibbity. Now, what happens when there's no supply, you ask? Well, according to my college-level economics book, it says the price will skyrocket. Basically, when you're the greaseball gamer buying these, you're creating a monopoly for yourself, which forces dumbass PC gamers to buy the card from you. And you can set that bitch as high as you want. Is it morally evil? Yes. Would I do it if I had the chance? Oh yeah, most definitely. Scalpers are the evil demons of the PC world, and there's a very, very special place for them at the bottom of hell. If I had the option to do the ritual for Midsummer on them, I would do it in a heartbeat. And as much as people bitch and complain, according to advanced scholar ChatGPT, they only contribute to 20 to 30% of the price issues, and the rest being demand and supply issues, which is completely false in my opinion, and here's why. And yes, I'm denying factual evidence. Demand, supply issues, and scalpers are all intertwined. Although scalpers might only cause a smidgen of the supply issues, they affect all the other causes, making them worse than they should be. Now imagine if they didn't allow bots to instantly buy every single GPU in a fucking millisecond. Hear me out. When bots buy GPUs within nanoseconds at the start of any sale, they deplete inventory almost immediately. This forces many retailers to sell out well before everyday consumers even have a chance to click buy. Without these bots, the natural demand would be spread over a longer period. Retailers could then distribute their limited stock among verified regular customers rather than a handful of scalpers. But okay, let's just let sleeping dogs lie and just say to ourselves that these cock munchers aren't to blame and say that supply issues are the actual problem. Let's go over to Taiwan real quick, the main producers of our computer chips. Hey, drink some of these fellas, hey, drink some! Where are the chips? Where are the chips?
Now you gotta understand that the chip shortage is a very complex and complicated issue. You can't just whip these guys and expect them to work harder. Have some sympathy, please, for once in your life. No, please, I'm sorry, please don't do this to me.
Now, there is a global semiconductor shortage, which, you know, could cause some issues. Although the global chip shortage supposedly ended in 2022, the shortage is still affecting Nvidia's GPUs today. After that certain disease happened in 2020, the demand in computers and electronics skyrocketed, with millions of more gamers being birthed into the new world. There's going to be some extra demand, of course. Extra demand that these poor chip makers weren't expecting. And it didn't help that their production also took a hit from the pandemic as well. Now, we all know every company took part in raising prices. And the naive, stupid consumers that we are, we genuinely thought that the prices would go down for most things. You know, Mr. Cigar was expecting to buy a 3090 once the price lowered, but his dumbass did not realize that profit always comes first. Price gouging is one of those things that only Satan himself would do. Like, you gotta be a different type of money hungry and have a certain level of hatred for the common man to be doing this. But why lower prices when you're the king of the world? Me and the other AMD users like to cope and say that AMD's counterpart GPUs are worthy enough to compete with such a titan, which is a stupid fucking statement. Nvidia is undeniably a monopoly, and a powerful one at that. AMD can't compete in quality, physically and digitally, because my god, this software is held together with cum and a piece of bubblegum. It just doesn't work. I would have greater luck getting in contact with Russia and working a peace deal than to get Farmville to not crash on my 6800 XT. My point is that the average consumer is 9 times out of 10 wanting to get the best, and will always go Nvidia. With no competition, there's a lack of breakthrough innovation and competitive pricing. Other companies have tried to enter the market, but they try to play it safe by not touching high-end cards. Nvidia's at its financial peak right now, and I don't really see an end in their reign unless some other company steps up, or we all organize a coup to overthrow Nvidia. But we know damn well gamers are too selfish to congregate for anything besides harassing women. I think I say this for everyone, nobody wants this shit. I remember when the 50 series was shown off, and of course everyone was excited to get a piece of that pie to upgrade their rigs, just to find out that this is the smallest technological leap in GPUs in the history of gaming. Because clearly, us the consumer don't want stronger parts. No. What we want is AI. AI slop. AI art. AI everything. Fuck GPUs. Give me more AI generated inflation points. Before I enter my rant on DLSS and fake frames, let's first establish what FPS and resolution is so you fully grasp what DLSS and frame generation actually are. See this? This is world-renowned professional Fortnite player Booga. And no, this isn't a PowerPoint presentation, this is actual gameplay. FPS stands for frames per second. If you have a monitor that can display 120 FPS, then your monitor will refresh every second 120 times. But to reach those frames, you're gonna need a strong GPU. Now, time to explain resolution. I promise that this will all make sense, just bear with me here. Resolution is what stops a video game from looking like this. It's not very playable in my opinion. Resolution is the steamer that gets rid of those blurry and jagged edges, the glasses of video games, if you will. It's what makes the image of the game sharper. The higher it is, the more clear it is for you. Now that's out of the way, how does DLSS and frame generation affect that? DLSS, Deep Learning Super Sampling, AI-powered upscaling. DLSS is a crutch for your GPU. Make the native resolution lower to make the GPU less loaded and make AI take the wheel by upscaling it to a higher resolution. Now, does this look good? Sometimes, but other times the game looks like Clayface from Lego Batman. When DLSS was first introduced in 2018, it was kinda cool and an interesting peek into the future. This would be an amazing feature for all GPUs to still have the ability of running new games. In my own opinion, the future of handhelds. But oh, how wrong we were. Then DLSS 2 came out, then 3, and now 4 with the 50 series cards. The normal human reaction would be, man, this is great. I'm going to be getting more FPS for the same quality. Did you ever watch Full Metal Alchemist? The show where the little girl fuses with her dog and then kills herself? That one? Remember that one scene where he sacrificed his brother and his arm to bring his mother from the depths of hell, just for her to come out all ooey gooey and nasty? That's kind of how I see DLSS. Equivalent exchange is an idea that something cannot be created without giving something of equal value in return. There's no such thing as free performance, as something has to be sacrificed. For DLSS, it's the worsening of image quality for more frames. Again, this would be so amazing on old cards, but the best of the best cards, especially the 50 series, are pushing this whole AI scaling bullshit to the max. When I buy a high-end card, I'm buying it to get the best of the best performance. I want to see Leon Kennedy's cock in 8K 120 FPS. I can't see his cock when I have makeshift cataracts when I look down. Now, I'm obviously being hyperbolic because most people actually welcome DLSS. The controversial topic is, drumroll please, frame generation. My god, this garbage feature is not ready yet. Remember equivalent exchange? This is actually the perfect example of this. How it works is that a game renders a normal frame and AI predicts motion and generates a new frame in between the next frame your GPU makes. So every other frame is AI generated. This is actually viable if you don't mind moving 12 seconds after pressing the W key. The input delay is absolutely atrocious with lower frames. Now, is the input delay less prominent when you have higher frames? Sure, but either way, I don't think anyone wants this fake frame bullshit. When I'm dropping 2 fucking bands on a GPU, and I know damn well I'm not getting this anywhere close for 2000. I'm expecting higher performance. Now AI shit, raw power. Everyone expects that when buying a powerful card for that much fucking money, especially when people need higher frames for online games. This input delay isn't gonna fly when every millisecond counts. In the age where AI is slowly taking over, I genuinely never thought computer hardware could be next. The age of fake frames are upon us, ladies and gentlemen, and us gamers need to take a stand. Remember the insane leap in performance that I talked about when we jumped from the 30 series to the 40 series? Behold, the 50 series. And this shit just hurts to look at. Not only will you never have your hands on this, you'll have to pay $2,000 fucking dollars. That's a lot of Chipotle bowls for the foodies watching this video. 2,000 in this economy? Really, Jensen? Who do you think I am? Fucking DJ Khaled? I ain't got that type of money. And with only a 30% increase from the last generation, they focused less on raw power and put all their efforts for AI in DLSS 4. Nvidia CEO even claimed that the 5070 would have about the same performance as a 4090 with DLSS frame generation, which is sadly kind of true. I know, I bet you guys were expecting me to call him a dunce idiot that was wrong, but trust me, I wanted to as well. I think me and everyone else is in denial and have to accept the fact that this might be the future of computer hardware. Fake frames will probably be a mainstay, and it doesn't help that almost every game is unoptimized now. That is basically a requirement to have frame generation turned on. The 60 series might deadass be entirely AI. We're gonna probably only see small improvements in performance because of Ohm's law and diminishing returns or some shit. I don't know, I'm not smart enough for that. Hey, all the people in the audience, raise your hand if you care about ray tracing. Mr. Cigar, just fucking kill him. The pushing of ray tracing has been a fly in my life ever since I started my gaming career. When it was in Minecraft, it was cool, you know? An extra feature if you really wanted to make your game look a bit better. And by a bit, I mean, this is a whole different fucking game. But of course, every hardware company just has to have a piece of that pie. And just like DLSS and AI, they develop an unnecessary need to push this idea that every game needs ray tracing. Like, we're all gonna be brainwashed into thinking that we honestly need this, and any game that doesn't use it will automatically look like shit. Don't get me wrong, ray tracing is very pretty, but I don't need this, and most people would agree with that notion. If the average consumer were given the option, they would just want more raw performance to squeeze out 8K or a higher frame rate. Like, why give out statistics and talk talk about ray tracing as if most people use it. They are genuinely more out of touch than modern day politicians. I would love this feature to be in all future games, but do not make this the main fucking focus on GPUs when the big majority aren't even going to use it in the first place. And honestly, most of the time it's not even a big improvement. When I look at Cyberpunk or Minecraft, I'm like, damn, I could definitely see the appeal on this. Now I'm playing Alan Wake 2 and I'm squinting at a fucking puddle. There's no in-between for ray tracing. It's either third eye opening or more disappointing than me finding out Larry Bird is white. Stop pushing this and maybe I'll give you a kiss on the cheek, Mr. Huang, you evil devilish hunk. Ray tracing for most gaming rigs are out of reach. Sacrificing that amount of performance is just not worth it to most people, because what person in 2025 is going to be playing with 30 FPS?
I thought I had that guy.
And with that hardware limitation, it's just not worth that extra reflection on a puddle. Ray tracing in a lot of games is so minimal, it just feels like you're burning energy just to justify the purchase of your new GPU. And it's okay, man. Just admit you wasted money, man. The best way to describe modern Nvidia is that they're basically the Apple of the computer world. You got the dick-riding fans that don't actually know what they're buying, you got the mainstream appeal and popularity, the absolutely atrocious prices on their higher-end products. It's like seeing your favorite uncle slowly resort to drugs. From once a company that sold affordable cards to a company that can't even keep them in stock. Seriously, what the fuck is the point of MSRP? You will never buy it at this price. This is the best product locked behind a paywall only millionaires can pass through, unless you want to finance a card. But why finance a GPU when you just finance a pizza? That's what I did. Look at me now, I'm eating a pizza.
But isn't frame generation good innovation?
If you're a glue sniffer, sure, because no matter how much technological advancements they'll have with AI, it'll never look as good as the real thing, and that logic applies to almost anything in life. Do not give me a cheap knockoff, give me something truly impressive, even if that takes 5 years, because 3 years for a 30% raw power upgrade is laughable. AI should be a tool, not a foundation. It's really hard to put a mark on how I feel about this whole shebang. Most people in this community can agree that Nvidia makes great quality products, but they're so focused on making a profit that they ignore the flaws, the lack of innovation, and the obvious display of pride. And pride is always the one sin that destroys any empire. For what elevates the soul too high only widens the distance it may fall. Are GPUs really that deep? Fuck no. But Mr. Cigar has been crying for the past week about how he hasn't upgraded since 2016, so I really had to say something. Like, look at this shit. You're gonna need at least 27 gigawatts per cockle flop. Like, just look at what the fuck is this?